Hi friends, this is Linda and I'm back with another Project Life process video for 2022. This is the week of August 29th through September 4th. I have my photos here. I don't have a ton of photos this week. I have 6 4x6 photos. I have one that's off camera because we'll talk about that in a second. And then I have 2 3x4 photos. So I did not take a ton of photos this week at all. I don't know what was going on. I just didn't take photos. So I have things like this screenshot here. And then I took a photo of the organization chart at work. I've recently gotten promoted and I'm supervising a new person. And there were a lot of retirements and stuff. So I thought it was kind of interesting for me personally. I just didn't want to share that on the internet. So I'm going to put that as one of my 4x6 photos. So I'm going to leave one spot blank for that. Then I only had 2 3x4 photos. There just wasn't anything else I wanted to include. So I'm going to have to come up with something else to fill those pockets. And so I'll do that as I put this spread together. Not a ton happened this week. I do still need to go back and add my text on here, my notes. But this is I'm working with the August Stories by the Month kit from Ali Edwards. If you watch my last video, I also worked with this kit for that week. And that week I used some of the cards that were specific to this kit. For this whole year, Ali has been creating these same 5 cards, which are going to be the base of this spread. So I've been using this one as my title card. And then these 2 as recaps of the month itself. So I'm going to kind of do that like that. And then this one just for some journaling. And this one as, stories from that week. There's also in this kit here, I have a couple more 4x6 cards that are left. I might find a way to include these. I do only have 6 photos, so I think I'm probably going to do that one. And then I'm not sure if I have a plan for this one. But what I'm gonna do is go ahead and put you on fast forward. I'm gonna fill this sticky note in, crop out my photos, and get the spread put together.
Okay, so this one ends up coming together pretty quickly. Like I said in the introduction, I don't have that many photos this week. This was a busy week, but not with fun stuff. I am in a very busy season at work this month. And so I spent a lot of time working, and I really don't have anything pretty to take pictures of at work. Most of the things at work I can't take photos of, or even if I could, I don't really want to because, I work in a cubicle. So I just didn't have a ton this week, and I found that I had multiple spots that were empty. So what I decided to do was I went over to my stash and pulled over this gray cardstock, and I cropped it to 3x4 to fill those 2 empty 3x4 pockets. And my thought is that I'm going to do some large stamping, large alpha stamping, just to put a few sentiments of things that happened this week. I tend to, when I do my large stamping, try to keep my words on one line so that the word does not, break in the middle. But these cards are so small and these letters are so big. And I really was doing this more for the design element than to tell the story. So I just kind of went with it. So this one says feeling burnout because, this week and this month in general, I've been feeling very burned out just with everything going on. And the letters didn't go all the way to the bottom, so I just added some washi in one of the chipboards from the kit. And then this one, I wrote, Summer is sick again. I think that's what it's going to say. And she got sick again because she also was kind of burning herself out. She was sick a couple weeks ago, if you remember seeing that, if you've been watching my videos, and then she was going at 100 again, and obviously she got sick. So it was kind of like both of us were feeling a little bit of burnout this week. While I was doing the stamping, I realized my StazOn ink was very not juicy, and so I went over to my stash and pulled a new one out. And what you can see that I do is when I open a new StazOn, I stamp the date on the bottom so I know when it was opened. So the old one I had there was from March and it is now September. So I feel like that is a good length of time for one of these ink pads to last me because I do use it pretty much every day. Then I used the label sticker on the gray paper to stamp a label with my new Juicy ink, and I'm cutting it out with scissors. I thought that the gray would be kind of cohesive with those 2 gray cards that I stamped, and I'm going to use this to put the dates on my title card. So I'm using these Stories by the Month from August from Ali Edwards, and this kit, I use these kits every month. And for the last week of the month, I've been using these kits with these repeated cards that show up in every kit. And this is one of those repeated cards that I'm using as my title card. And I just wanted to give it something a little bit different and interesting by adding that label on there. Then I'm going through the kit and pulling out chipboard pieces to adhere onto some of the photos and just kind of, tell a little bit more of the story, decorate things. So this one right here was a half circle chipboard piece that does not have any like text or anything on it. It's just kind of a background. So I decided it would be kind of a good place to stamp on. And I'm using this smaller alpha stamp. I'm using my juicier black ink. You can see the big difference between the large stamping that I did and the stamping. And I'm writing on here December Daily D-Stash, I think, because what I did this week, one of the things that I did at home was I went through, or December Daily Purge. I went through and purged a bunch of my December Daily supplies, and then I did a D-Stash giveaway on my Instagram, and I gave away 2 boxes of a ton of supplies, and they were a lot of really good supplies, just things that I needed to get out of my stash because I had just had so much December Daily. I have been doing December Daily for 10 years and I had a lot just building up. And I was ready to clean it out and add some more new things in there. So on these 2 cards, I'm just doing my journaling from the week. This one, I'm just telling one story, something that happened. And the other one, I'm going to do my bullet point list. Like I said, there just really wasn't a ton that was happening this week. It was pretty, work, summer being sick, my D-Stash, but not a lot of big things. I'm sorry. I guess I'm sleepy. Anyways, so I'm writing out my journaling here on this bullet one. So one thing that I kind of really like about these Stories by the Month kits is I've been using them for the last week of the month, every month. And they have those 2 cards, that this happened and the gratitude card. And I've been using those to tell stories from the month as a whole. So you could see me there looking back in what happened in the previous week. And basically what I do is I just look back in my Project Life album for the things I documented over the course of the month and pull out 5 gratitudes for this card. So I'm thinking of 5 big or small things that happened that I am thankful for. This happened card I'm using to tell more of the general feel and overview of the month, not so much fact-based, but more, whether we had a busy month or a hard month or, that kind of thing, and just kind of reflecting on the month. And I do really like that I've had the opportunity to do that in my album this year. I also really like that for a week like this that is slower and there really wasn't a lot going on, it's really helpful to have these extra kind of filler cards to reflect on the month as a whole rather than just this week. So that is something that you can always do in this project if you are trying to do weekly spreads and you kind of run out of ideas of things to include. You can always include reflections on the month as a whole or how the year is going or just a longer time period, and include it in that same spread. So at this point, I'm calling my spread done. As I mentioned at the beginning, that last rectangle right there, I'm going to fill the last 4x6 pocket. I am going to fill that with another photo that is just an organization chart from my work that I wanted to blur out. But besides that, the spread is good and you can see the completed thing on the final photo at the end. This one was very simple, came together very quickly, but it was still, a great story of this week. So thank you so much for being here. Bye.